Marshfield Community Television brings you the RAM Report, a series of programs devoted to the varsity programs here at Marshfield High School. We have had many teams represented in previous episodes. Today we are fortunate to have with us members of the girls varsity hockey team. And we are happy to have the captains with us along with Coach Elizabeth Cohen. Coach Cohen, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
I was wondering if you would take a moment and maybe introduce the ladies to your left.
Sure.
And if you could just wax poetic a little bit about who they are and how you experience them in practice and games.
Well, we have our assistant captain here, Kara Wright. She is a senior. She plays forward. And Kara has a unique story. She picked up playing hockey for us her sophomore year in high school. And she's one of the few that are left that did that, and now she's a integral part of the team and one of our best leaders out there. We have Hannah Cochran. She's a senior. She's our captain. She is also a forward. Hannah's been playing since her freshman year, and we've tried many positions, I think, her freshman year, and now as a forward, she's our leading center, and she's been an incredible on-ice presence for everyone to follow, and I wish everyone was as hard-nosed and in the corners getting the puck as well as she does. So, and then we have Maya Castron. She is a junior. She's one of our other assistant captains, and Maya plays defense. Maya plays very, very hard, sometimes a little scary when she goes into those corners, but she has no fear whatsoever and is a very great skater. And is also, they're all multi-sport athlete. I do know Maya plays lacrosse, and Hannah plays field hockey and lacrosse as well. And they're all very great athletes.
Great. Well, welcome and thank you for taking time with us today. Coach, I'm going to come right back to you. This is a fairly new program in the scheme of things here at Marshfield High School. When you think about it, what's the evolution of that program? How have you experienced, and where do you see it going from here?
Sure. Girls are very lucky. I believe they started the program way back in the day in '06 as a co-op with Weymouth High School. And now that the numbers are good and they're pretty consistent, Marshfield is able to have a girls hockey program on their own, which is really excellent. And the future is very bright. We have 11 freshmen this year on our team.
Wow.
Next year, I think we're going to have another probably about 5 freshmen. And the year after that, I think it's another big crew. I don't know if it's 11, but it's up there. So the future is bright here. It all depends on different competing factors. There's a lot of different opportunities for high school athletes out there these days.
Yep.
But I do think there's a really big Marshfield town pride that comes with it. And we just had the Green Cup this past Monday, and the entire team actually went and supported our middle school team. And it was really incredible to watch them supporting the future of Marshfield girls hockey. So I think it looks really bright. I think there's going to be plenty of girls, a lot of talent, a lot of girls that love hockey, and just trying to get them to the next step up for high school. And I think it really unites everyone. I think girls hockey in Marshfield's a little unique, and we're very close. We spend a lot of time with each other. And I think they are very good at supporting each other in many different avenues, whether it's on the ice, off the ice, other sports, different events and things like that. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And just to come back to you, and then we'll talk to the captains themselves. You're involved in hockey in your life outside of this, and where do you see women's hockey going?
I just see women's hockey continuing to grow, and I think the issue you have is it's very spread out. You have high school hockey, you have junior hockey, you have club hockey and town hockey. So you have a lot of competing factors, so sometimes there's not as many in one specific area. But I think the game is still growing. I love seeing the female coaches that are coming back. I played in high school for Barnstable High, and we started our team, and it's still going to this day. And same here for these girls. And I think the Olympics is going to be a big test in watching that. And honestly, the Premier Hockey League just increased their salary cap and invested. I know the Board of Governors invested a lot of money for the future. So I'm hoping that these young ladies all have opportunities to play elsewhere when they graduate, if they so choose, and maybe at the end of the day, we all end up in beer hockey league is what we call it. But I think there's still a lot of opportunity for them to continue playing the game no matter what in the future.
That's great. And then as far as this team goes, your season's now well underway, and you've had some fits and starts in terms of scheduling and things like that. But what do you see, what are you feeling really good about, and what do you think needs to improve as you go along for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I think our consistency just needs to improve from game to game. But we are, stringing together very good periods. They are very good at communicating with each other, and I do know that they're getting the positioning down very well. And they really are up for a challenge. We played a very hard, talented team in Duxbury on Monday, and they never backed down. It didn't matter what the score was. I mean, they were, fighting for the puck and trying to win those face-offs. So I'm really proud of just how tenacious they are and how well adjusted they are to, different challenges, because I think every day it's a new challenge, and so it's just how we're going to overcome that challenge every day. So that makes me really proud. And I think what we just need to improve on is just the little things that we do, face-offs and making sure that we're working on our body positioning and everyone's going to the right spots. Like I said, it's a young team, so we're still learning, the quirks that maybe some more experienced skaters would have already known. But they're fast learners and they're very enthusiastic, and we have a lot of positivity going forward. Great,
thank you. Now we'll get to the captains. So I'm looking right at you, and I'm going to say, what's it like to be a leader on this team?
On this team, it's definitely hard because of how many young kids we have, because there's so little of us upperclassmen, but it's definitely fun. It's a ride for sure.
Anything you want to add?
I think when you go into being a leader, you don't expect that you're teaching them a lot of things that you want them to be when you get older. So it's definitely challenging, but you're teaching them the values that you've learned from previous, and it's just sort of like a cycle of that.
Yeah. Almost got to the circle of life. Yeah, that's good. Anything you'd like to add?
I think it's nice being able to be friends with all of them, and then also being able to teach them new things.
Great. And I'm going to stay with you, Maya. Could you talk about a player or two on the team that's really stepped up or surprised you since the season started?
Well, I think
and then I'll come right back.
Ava, our goalie, who we wouldn't have a team without her, and then Morgan, our goalie, who's in 8th grade, who came up this year. They have really stepped up and made the team what it is.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I think Cam Jordan, she's a freshman. I think she's had a strong presence on the ice and is very consistent in every game, and she's a good defender. And I don't think from middle school to high school, there's definitely a gap in the style of play, and she has not shown us. She's a freshman. You wouldn't look at her and think this is her first ride, so she's very good. And Kayla is the same way. Kayla Leonard, she's a center, and she really, without her, we probably wouldn't be winning as much as we would without her points. So
great, really well thought out. Put some pressure on you.
I do have to re-say Morgan, because she's just a huge part of this team, even though she was just injured for a while. She's just so positive all the time. And there's Courtney Patera. She's a huge positive energy, positive attitude all the time, which makes a huge difference.
Yeah, great answers. We'll lighten it up just a little bit for a moment, and I'm going to come right back to you. The bell rings and it's lunch here at Marshfield High School. What is your go-to lunch?
Well, I actually bring my lunch every day because my mom makes it for me. But if I were to eat something here, it'd probably be pizza.
Okay. And what do you typically bring? I understand that your mother makes it.
My mom does make it. I normally yogurt and like a salad.
Okay. All right. A little different than pizza, right?
Yeah.
How about yourself?
I usually just bring like a snack because it's usually like 10:30. But I recently tried the mac and cheese here, and it tastes way better than so
Better than the way I thought you were going to take it. And how about?
Yeah, my dad makes my lunch every day. It's the same thing since freshman year every day. It's peanut butter and jelly, Cheez-Its, 2 fruit snacks, and a Z-bar.
And that's perfect,
Yeah.
right? If you had to, if for some reason somebody took your lunch or you forgot it, what would you get here?
Pizza.
Okay, pizza. All right. Usually the chicken sandwich is mentioned at some point in this, so we've mixed it up a little bit. In the locker room, who's got the best nickname in the locker room?
I'm going to have to go with Courtney. Her nickname's Footsie.
Footsie? Okay.
They don't need to explain.
No, better not.
I don't like have nicknames for anybody. I think I just shorten their names so it's easier to yell on the ice. But I usually just say like Mandy or Addie. Like I just had an E at the end.
Yeah, very hockey. That's hockey-esque.
I'm going to agree with Maya. I like Footsie a lot.
Okay. It's tough to top. When you think of Coach Cohen, and I know you often do, whether it's practice or games, what is the phrase that you immediately think of that you hear the most from her?
I'll probably just have to go with "Let's go, ladies." That's a common one.
I would agree with that. I don't know if there's a specific phrase, but she always gets us fired up in between the periods. And
I've heard her.
Can't think of any specific ones that I should say, but
All right.
That's okay.
We'll let her off the hook. Who do you model your game after?
Ooh, there's a lot, but recently I think it would be Kendall Coyne.
Yeah, good choice.
Love her.
I would say Brad Marshall. He's dirty, but he still gets the job done.
it's a hard one for me because I've only been playing for like a short amount of time. He's not famous or anything, but I do say my brother. My brother taught me a lot, and I do play for him a lot.
That's great. Coach, let me ask you: who did you model your game after, and is there a coach or two that you really look up to or try to follow?
Who did I model my game after when I was growing up? So I wanted to be AJ Malesko. She was very popular in the Olympics and growing up, and now she's a broadcaster.
Yeah.
I also wanted to be Ray Bork, so if I could, I would. But now as a coach, I learn a lot. Like there's so many different coaches that I've learned from, and that are friends of mine to this day. But I really enjoy watching Coach Cassidy for the Bruins. He's pretty even-keeled, and he's really straightforward with everyone, but he definitely motivates his team. So I definitely enjoy that aspect of Cassidy's game.
Great. Back to you, Coach. What do you want people to know about this team and the program itself? And
I think this team is very, I don't know what the right word is, because they're very appreciated here in the town, but I think a lot of outside of the town don't realize the talent that is on this team and how much grit and how much work they've put in, and that it's basically, I call it any day, just kind of like any given Sunday. The girls can really pull off something that might surprise others just by the way that their enthusiasm and their energy and their focus on the game. And if they have that going for them in a game, I think it's anybody's game. So I really just want everyone to know that they're coming ready to play, and they're going to give you a challenge no matter what, and they're going to cheer each other on. And I mean, we had a game, we didn't have a goalie one game, and our freshman, Ari Comer, who hasn't played goalie since she was, a little younger, she stepped in and put the pads on for us to play a tough Patriot League opponent in Whitman-Hanson Silver Lake. And we lost 4-1. I think the score really probably could have been 3-1. I think they had an empty netter at the end. And I was just impressed on how they played in front of her and how she played as well. And, you know, we were leading 1-0 going into the third. So those are these little wins and these little victories that I really want them to focus on, because eventually it all, you know, comes together for them.
Yeah, you stay really positive.
Absolutely.
It's something I've noticed. Last year, so Sean Leary is behind the camera over there, and we had the pleasure of going to Randolph and seeing you play Situate in the tournament, the Patriot Cup.
Yep.
The game went on forever.
That was a long game.
We were running out of battery. You were running out of ice time, from my memory. The referees kept having to talk to the rink officials. I'm sure you remember.
Yeah, they had to keep checking in with them.
So after doing a lot of games and a lot of sports, I have to say that game was the most exciting. And the shootout particularly, I'm not a huge fan of the shootout in general, but to watch it play out that day, and we were behind your bench, and to watch you go to the next person, and then you had to go through a couple times, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we went through the roster once, full. I think we went 16 rounds. I actually lost track of how many rounds. But yeah, we went through the entire roster first, and those that were in the penalty box. And then we went to our Emma Kennedy, who got the game-winning goal and stuff like that. But it was really exciting. It was fun to watch the girls, and now they understand why a lot of the times I do a shootout in practice.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's things like that. Anybody could be going in. It doesn't mean it's just your normal goal scorers.
Right.
So it was a really exciting time.
It was, and the goalies were standing on their heads.
Oh, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Absolutely.
And Sean kept saying, we only got about 2 minutes left on the battery, and it ended right as the battery was wearing out. So that was a lot of fun.
But we had a lot of ups and downs last year, and I think we had a few this year already just due to restrictions and things like that. But I think we're finally getting into the groove of things, and you know, we've played 7 games, and so we got a little over half of the season left, and I'm really excited for them to get, you know, a full season in, especially with it being shortened last year.
Great. And I know it was a lot of ups and downs last year, and a little bit so far this year, but mostly ups, right?
Yeah, mostly ups.
Believe it or not, we have finished. We've done the list. I want to thank you captains for coming in. I know you just came off the ice this afternoon. It was nice of you to join us, and we appreciate it. And hopefully we can get you back sometime towards the end of the season to figure out where we are and where we're going to go cover a playoff game, things like that. Thank you, Coach. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's it for the Ram Report with girls varsity hockey. We will check back in with them during the course of their season, and we will have episodes coming up and revisiting with some of the clubs that have already been on. Thanks for joining us. David Snow signing off.